Oh, dude's mad at me because I gave him a piece of junk transmission. So let's pull the thing back out and see if we can't figure out what's wrong with it. Well, let me get the jack out. Seemed like I just did this a few days ago. I'm a good 6 inches off center that way just to get this thing to jack up level. I do not understand that. Once again, we meet under dude. I figured if I gotta be under here, y'all gotta be under here too. That's just how it works. Looks like we got some type of a leak right here, and that is gear oil. The front up here is leaking, and I don't know why. Anyway, it's something we'll have to look at. All right, I think I'm gonna start this time. We're gonna pull the shifter off first. It's got to come off anyway. I believe that's what makes it hard to get it in out of here without moving this cross member. This cross member is very aggravating to move. One, because it fits extremely tight, and two, the ends, well, the top and the bottom, they can move, and it makes the holes not line up real good. So we're gonna try it again. Take the shifter off and not move the cross member. I believe we can do it. All right, let's get this shifter off first. Oh! Why didn't I bring any ratchet wrenches under here? I know this might sound weird. I love working on stuff, but I despise. I hate turning a wrench. It's just so boring and monotonous. And I just ain't got no patience, I guess. Well, look what I just found. A small pair of vice grips laying in the gravel. What was I using them on? I don't know. Anyway, I'll put them back up. All right, where was I? Where did my wrench go? I'd lose my head if it wasn't attached to me, I'm telling you. I'm pretty sure y'all can't see anything I'm doing. I'm getting the bolts off of these shifter arms up here on the side to cover. Dang it. All right. Come off of there, you son of a gun. All right, there's Mr. Shifty Shift. He is off the transmission. Now let's take his back motor mount plate and everything else loose. Where'd my gun go? Here it is. Well, that lock washer just broke. Let me put these back in here so I don't get confused about where they go. Well, y'all know I got the memory of a tree stump. I'm dreading putting that 390 back together that came out of the station wagon because I won't remember where the nuts and bolts went. 916, where you at, buddy? All right, there's the transmission mount plate. It don't take maybe 30 minutes to pull one of these transmissions out. Now, if you got a new clutch bell housing, well, y'all saw this bell housing, well, it was a pain, a big pain. Now I gotta take that dust cover off so I can get to them nuts on the inside of the bell housing. You know, this dust cover has a lot of oil in it. That rear main, it's leaking pretty good, I believe. So we need to hurry up and rebuild this motor pretty doggone quickly. Dust cover removed. Now, I believe those were 3/4. Oh, I got to get my speedometer cable first. Let me get my speedometer cable out of the way. I need a little bit longer extension, but this is the longest one I can find. Where's my wrench? All right. I reckon it's time to wrestle this sucker. This will be round 2, I guess. Ooh-wee. Oh, look at here. Now, y'all remember, oh my dead blame thumb. Y'all remember how that came out? Well, I won't. All right. Let's get this sucker drug out here and get it on the table. Also, and oh, by the way, I just looked at the camera. It took 16 minutes to get that transmission out. Not bad. And look who showed up. Mrs. Daisy with a dirty nose. You've been digging in the dirt again, girl. What is wrong with you? Do you think you're a mole or something? Say hello, everybody. Say goodbye, everybody. Alrighty, here she is in all her glory. I have got it drained of the greases, so we'll pull the side cover off. There we go. I guess I glued her on pretty doggone good. You know, I think I just figured out how to get that in there easily. Well, it needs to be shifted in a gear because it's hitting the case right here. Yep. I'll have to remember that next time we put it together. Yep. See that right there? Oh, yeah. You learn something new every day. I'm telling you, when you stop learning, well, you become dumb. Remember I told you it was leaking? Well, that counter shaft bore is leaking, so we might put some RT&V around that when we put it back together. Keep that from happening. Oh, wow. Huh. How in the world did that happen? It was not like that when I put it together. Look at the play in that. Alright, let's get this thing pulled apart. Is there any grease? Yeah, there's still some in it, but we won't worry about it. Maybe we won't make too much of a mess. Let's pull this sucker right here off. Where am I going? Y'all remember them length bolts? They're different. That's a different size. See if this thing will come apart. I reckon it will. Let me get some towels, rags. We're going to make a mess right here. Oh, we already have made a mess. Darn. Let me get this drain pan back over here. Yep. All right, let me see if I can pull this cover off. Well, we got some gold. Got lots of gold down in there. Yes. The reverse gear has got me caught right now. The synchronizer green for, is that 4th gear? Well, that's why it was grinding going into gear, because it's, well, pretty much shot. Here it comes. Let me get this washer out the way. Yeah. Oh, let me set this down here. Let it drain and fall apart. Alright, best I can tell, the counter shaft bearings, they feel really good. I'm not sure. I know input shafts, they always wobble some. I don't know what's excessive. Alright, I took this out and a bearing fell apart on this shaft here. This is the one that goes on the inside. It's a little roller bearing. All the little bearings fell out. I don't think that's a big deal. But what is a big deal, and I think one of them, maybe 2 of them fell down in my drain pan there. So I may have to try to fish that out, or may just buy a new one. We'll probably just buy a new one. But let's take this front cover off, get the input shaft out. Actually, I'll tell you what, let's do first. Get that counter shaft out of here, if it'll come out. Yeah, there it comes right there. Just like it right there. Alright. Well, here's a roller bearing that's falling apart though. So that's good. I guess there's a roller bearing inside of it there. Yeah, it's all falling apart. Oh! Let me get all of them out. Oh yeah, lots of them. You take this cover off and get this bearing off. So let me get that cover off. All right, there's a snap ring there, and then I think it'll slide through the back. Oh, this is going to be a pain right here. Had to get my littler pair of snap ring pliers, get this off. Ooh, come off of there. Tell you what, my nose is completely stopped up today. Alright, see, we got all this finagled around. Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. It had a lot of slop, you know, it was in here. Well, I can feel it there now. We'll probably get a new bearing. I don't know exactly what all I'm gonna get new. We'll just have to take everything apart and see. Let's get this counter shaft out now. We'll look at it. But I still ain't seen nothing that would make it vibrate like it did in first and second gear. I don't know. Well, I don't know, really. I don't see a thing wrong with these gears. Not one thing. I really am lost as to why he was doing that. Like I said, unless this bearing here, because you know it had a lot of slop. Like I said, this was flop and flop. This would flop and flop. So maybe that's what was causing it. I don't know. All right, I've got it pretty much all disassembled except for the tail housing down there. I left all that stuff in there. I don't think there's any need to take that apart. Let me show y'all this. Well, firstly, there's a roller bearing in here, and that fell all apart. Fell in the housing, and a couple of the rollers fell in my drain pan. I had to dig them out with a magnet. Anyway, I got that put back together. This seems to be kind of sloppy on that bearing, but I don't know how tight it's supposed to be. But let me show you this first. That is fourth gear synchronizer ring. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. It is just, it's destroyed. I mean, it's been wearing bad. That's probably the noise I heard. Anyway, it fits there. It goes on here. And I got looking. I've been scratching my head. You know, none of these gears, there's no slop in any of them, anywhere. Counter shaft, here's all the needle bearings for it, roller bearings, and there was no slop there. Been trying to figure out what in the world happened. And I got to looking, I said, well, about the only way it could wear that synchronizer that bad is if this thing was out of line. And, I was concerned about how much slop that had in it. And, well, I got to read the comments on the last video. And one of y'all, I don't remember who you was, sorry. But anyway, I don't remember your name. But you mentioned that was a truck bell housing. And this is a car transmission. But when I take that transmission out this second time, when I take that last bolt out, you see the transmission drop. And I thought that was kind of odd. I was like, it shouldn't be doing that because here is the bearing housing that goes like that. That's what you throw up bearing rides on. Well, there's a hole in the bell housing that this is supposed to fit in pretty tightly. And that it shouldn't have dropped like that. And anyway, I thought that was kind of odd, but I didn't think nothing else about it. Until I read that comment, I said, that's exactly what it is. Truck bell housing, car transmission. This is smaller than that hole in the bell housing. And well, I took this out there, put it in there, and sure enough, it's quite a bit smaller. And that's most likely what it was. Dumas, Dumas on my part. It had this out of line, and it would wear that synchronizer out. Why it would only do it when you let off the gas instead of being on the gas, I don't know. But I guarantee you that's what the issue is. They make a ring to take up that space to use this small housing on that bigger hole in the bell housing. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get that ring. I'm going to get new bearings. This bearing, that bearing, new roller bearings here. There's a bearing back here on the back. Get new. And I'm going to get all new synchronizer rings. And there's several thrust washers. We'll get all them new. Probably get new snap rings. I'll just have to see what kind of kit there is online. We'll put this thing back together, and I believe we'll be okay then. What I don't understand is how could the 3-speed that was in there, was it lined up perfectly? It's been out of there a couple of times, and was I just lucky? And every time God had lined up perfect where it didn't do this. I don't know, but yeah, pretty much this happened because of Dumas on my part. Hey. Well, it's been a few days since I worked on this thing. I ordered what I thought was a bearing kit with synchronizer rings. No, it was just a bearing kit. Dumas on my part. And, well, I've been having a lot of Dumas moments here lately. I hope it changes. Anyway, went ahead and ordered the synchronizer rings, too. They're not here, by the way. I don't know where they're at. But I got down here looking at this thing and realized that this, well, it's not what it's supposed to be. This case has a casting number, and that tells you what year it is. Well, this is a 63 through 65, which is the early. This is the late style. Well, at least the synchronizer hubs are late style. They're narrower than the early ones. They take a different type of synchronizer ring. Well, when I looked at that ring, I knew that this was the later style. Measured that to make sure. So I ordered the late style synchronizers right here. Well, let me show you this. They put an early style synchronizer ring in here, and well, that's a no-no. You don't do that. It don't really work. Well, here's something else too. These are synchronizer keys. They go right here. That synchronizer has a slot. They go right here, and well, they're supposed to stay. Well, when I pulled this thing apart, 3 of these fell out into my drain tub, and I thought, okay, well, they come from here. Well, then I got to taking this apart, and 3 fell out. So I was wondering, where in the world did those keys come from? Well, if you look at this hub, there are no keys in there. How did they come out of there? Because once this is together, they can't come apart. So I have no clue how those come out of there, but I got to put them back. Anyway, I've got all the right parts now, I do believe. I've got to press all this apart and change the synchronizer rings, press it back together. I don't own a press. I'm gonna have to borrow one. That means I got to go to somebody's house, and I'm not going to record in somebody else's house. So when I get back, this will look the same, but it'll have new synchronizer rings and the new bearings pressed on it. Alrighty, I got everything pressed off, then pressed back on. We got new synchronizers. I was going to buy me a press, but Harbor Freight didn't have any. So I think after I get the shop built, I'll go ahead and buy me a press. Also, by the way, I've started building the shop. I'm hoping it doesn't affect videos, but it may a little bit. They may get shorter because I won't have as much time because I'll be working on the shop too. But it'll be a video of the shop being built too eventually when I get it done. Anyway, hopefully it won't affect the videos. Only thing I got left to do, I believe, is change that bearing out and the input shaft that's already in the vise over there. So let's go over there and change that one first. All I got to do with this input shaft is this goofy looking nut. It doesn't have any flats on it. It's not hex. Anyway, got to get that off. I believe, looking at the threads, I believe it's left-hand thread. Get it off. The bearing should slide off. Put the new bearing on. That'll be it. I think I can get it off with this little pipe wrench here. Let's just see what happens. Yes, sir. There she comes. There's the nut. Bearing should come off. There it is.
Well, it come off part of the way. There it goes. Finally. Anyway, let me get the new one. I'll get it put on. Already got the input shaft all cleaned up. It was kind of nasty inside here. Here is the new bearing. They have a snap ring groove. It goes up. And it should just drop right on. Just like that. Just like that right there. Let me get the nut started. And I'll get it back in the vise and we'll get it tightened up. Well, I think that's probably gonna have to do. So now, let's get that other bearing changed. All right, this is the bearing on the back side. Well, it's actually about middle way, really. I think, do they call this a mid plate? I'm not real sure. Anyway, this bearing has a snap ring too, but it's kind of weirdish because it looks like you have to squeeze the snap ring and drive the bearing out at the same time. So this could get fun. Well, you can't squeeze it. So, wait a minute. I know how you do this. You don't squeeze it, you spread it apart. It should slide out. So, let us see. Oh yeah. She ought to come on out. I ain't got no tools. They're all in the back of my truck. Ain't coming out that way. I believe she's coming out that way though. Let me flip it over. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Let me get this cleaned up. Alright, I got her all cleaned up. Well, let's get this other bearing down in here. If you're wondering where my tools are, they're in the back of the truck. I've been working on something else, and that's just where my tools are right now. That's why I'm using pliers for a hammer. Now, let me see if I can get this, keep that in the groove. Spread this ring out, snap ring out. Drive her on up. Get on up in there, come on. By George, I think we've got it. I got the case and device here. Remember, I wanted to drill a tap for a plug. I got a 3/8 plug, so let me get that done. Whoops.
Whoops-a-daisical.
Ta-da! Well, there is every part to a Muncie M20 4-speed laying on this table right here. Got it all good and cleaned up. I think I'm going to start by finishing this main shaft. Go ahead and put this synchronizer stuff back together. And then we'll just keep on trucking. All right, let us begin. All right, firstly, I got to get these keys put down in here. This here ain't going to be fun. No, because I got to get these in here and get them in this slot. Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. Oh, crap, that fell apart too. Dad blame it. Tell you what, I'm gonna take this off for now. Because I got to stand this up and do this like this. And y'all may not be able to see this. We'll just see. But I got to get this put together. Just like that right there. Then, well, where is it at? Then I got to get this little doodad here, whatever you call it, slid over like that right there. Then I gotta get this little clipper in here, like so. And then there you have it. That's pretty much that. All right, let me get this mid-plate bearing on. It should just slide right on. Well, might need a little bit of help. Leave that down. All right, now you got several snapping rings right here that are different thicknesses, and you want to get the tightest one in there. So let me fight with that for a minute or two. I need a different kind of snap ring pliers for this. And let me show y'all something here. This opening, there, it's angled like that. Well, you want the point going up, so when you grab it, when your pliers, well, it'll be from this side. You grab it with these pliers, it won't slip off. It gives you pliers something to grab hold of. Lots and lots of fun. That right there was very, very aggravating. But I finally got it. All right, now that I've got that done, I guess we need to start working on getting the countershaft gears in this housing. That's going to be real fun because it's got lots and lots of needle bearings. Here are the little rolly bearings. Well, I can get that to bust open. Getting weak in my old age, I guess. Anyway, there is a lot. Well, it says 80 pieces. That's a lot. These go inside here. Yeah, it's going to be fun. What you want to do, this little spacer sleeve, whatever you want to call it, it goes in here, and you got 3 rows, I believe, of needle bearings on either side of it. What you want to do, firstly, get you some grease. Grease this little feller up. Go ahead and put him in. It'll fit loose too, it don't fit tight. Alright, you do that right there. And then, what you want to do, get you some grease all up in here, like so. Then, I forgot about these little fellers. Got these little washers, spacers, I don't know what you call them. But it'll go in like so. Get on down there and make sure it goes in like it's supposed to, make sure it ain't turned. Then you get rollers up against it. What you can do, I guess, let's push this thing up here. We ain't got to reach so far in there. That's what we'll do. And you just put them in one by one. Then when you get that row done, you'll put another one of these little spacers down in there, push it down. Do another run of rollers. Do that 3 times on either side, and then you'll be done. So, when I get done with this very monotonous and tedious job, I'll be back. Alright, well, I'm not going to lie to you. That was not a fun experience. Let me give you one tech tip. If you don't do nothing else, when you get your little bearings, get them all laid out. Oh, first, let me tell you this. I lied to y'all. There's only 2 rows per side, not 3. The 7/8 shaft takes 20 rollers per row. First thing you need to do, as soon as you tear the bag open and dump your rollers out, count them in 4 individual piles. Should be 20 each. Because the people that I bought these bearings from, well, they decided to play a cruel trick. They gave me an extra one. Yep, tore it all apart, make sure I wasn't missing any. So, yep. And then you get them all done, and the inside row, 1 or 2 will fall out here, 1 or 2 will fall out here, and use plenty of grease. Overall, I give this experience a negative 100 out of 10. I think next I've got to put more roller bearings in the inside of the input shaft, so let me see if I can do that. All right. Let me have a bunch of grease right here. I'm going to go ahead and grease this up a little bit. And I'm going to grease these up. And these go on the outside. Just like it right there. Like I said, be sure you use plenty of grease. That way they won't fall apart on you. I'm telling you, that was aggravating. Well, it appears that they gave me 3 extra of them, so that's good. Oh, just lost one. Well, let me get one of these extras. Well, I lost 2 actually, because there's one right here, and then I just pulled one off. I tell you what. Oh me, oh me. I'm trying to get a little extra on there. Maybe they'll stay. All right, now. Well, no, not now, because I just lost 2 more. Let's put them back in. Just like that right there. Trying to get a bunch of grease on it where they won't fall out. All right, I think I might have it there now. So what you want to do is take this little fella right here. Get it down in there like that right there. Hopefully it'll go. Let's see. Oh yeah, look at there. I want y'all to look at that. Now what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna pack that sucker just full of grease. Maybe it'll stay in there. I don't know. All right, now what we got to do is get that counter shaft gears in here, but we get a couple of thrust washers first. So let me get them out. And then these got little tangs on them. They shall go right in here. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. Put me some grease on it. Maybe they'll stay in place. All right, let me get this other one on. Where does it go? Just like that right there. All right, let me see if I can get this in here without them needles going just absolutely everywhere. We might do it, I don't know. That's in. You don't want to put the shaft in yet because you got to put the input shaft in, which is what I'm going to do right now. Well, that doesn't really want to go in. Interesting. When I go to beating on this, all these needle bearings are going to fall apart. Well, I don't know what happened right there. I don't know why that was that tight. I don't think it should be. I think it should just fall right in, but well, I finally got it in. Let me clean this groove because it's cut a bunch of aluminum out. Then I'll put that snap ring on there, and then we'll proceed to the next step. Now, all right, I've moved to the vise because, well, it's a little bit easier on my back, and I'm gonna stand it up here in just a minute. I'm trying to get this counter shaft in, and it don't really want to go, and I don't know why. You got something lined up. There it goes, maybe. Part of it anyway, yeah. Oh yeah, here we go. See this cutout here? You want it facing this way. And I also, up here in this front hole, remember we had a little leak? I put some RT&B in that hole. Maybe it'll be good enough. I don't know. Try not to get too rough. I don't want to knock any darn bearings out. Oh yeah, look at there. Look at there. I have no clue if that RTV is going to seal, but, well, it's the best I can do. All right, now, let's set this little fella up here. Maybe that'll be a little bit easier on me. I know y'all can't see what I'm doing, but, well, I'm doing the best I can. This is kind of hard to video. Right here in this little pocket is the reverse gear. It gets a thrust washer right here. Some kind of way. There's a little tang on it. Keeps it located. Alright, then I believe this gear goes right here, just like that. And this piece here will go in there just like that. Alright, next what I'm going to do, I took a file to all mating surfaces anywhere that two parts meet, because this is beat up kind of bad. And this is beat up. Well, it's got a pretty good little ridge there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a very light coat of RT&B on this side, on the other side, and then the other side of the mid plate also. Just so I don't, ain't got a bunch of darn leaks. Now we're about ready to put that main shaft in here now. So let's do that. I got to take this back off because it's in the way. Alright, let's put this back in here. Maybe she'll go in without any major issues. Gotta get this. Ooh! Get it on down in there, you sorry sucker. By George, I think we've got it. But I gotta pick it back up, turn this a little bit. Get all my gaskets and stuff in line. Nope. Gotta take her back apart. I knew that went in too easy. I knew it did. Forgot my synchronizer ring. And the keys fell out. So I get to do that part over. Is it just me, or do y'all have to do things 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 8, 10 times sometimes? I do pretty regularly. Let me get this synchronizer back like it's supposed to be. Alright, I'm going to put this in this time. I think it goes just like that right there. Alright, let's try this again. Maybe we'll do a little bit better this time. Oh yeah! Yeah. Nope. Keys just fell out again. All right. This is gonna be fun. Fun. What the issue is, I have to drop this down in order to get by that gear. And when I do that, it exposes these keys and they're falling out. And what do you do about that? You ain't got a clue. Just keep trying till I get it, I guess. Third time the charm? Probably not. Just heard it fall. I swear. 5th time's the charm? Maybe we might have just got her in there. Let me get this lined up. By George, I think we've got it. Yeah, man. Come on, man. All right, I had to go take a break after that because stuff like that is nerve-wracking to me. Well, it just gets on my nerves is what it does. Anyway, I'm going to put another light coat on this side of this mid plate. And then I'll do the same thing on the other side of the gasket. Then I get to put this reverse gear back in here. Make dang sure that your thrust washer has not moved. So it's got a tang that it goes in. Then reverse shaft goes in like that. And it's got a roll pin, and let's see. It needs to go up and down just like that right there. Wait a minute. It gets the thrust washer up here too. Almost forgot it. Almost forgot the speedometer gear. I need to, I guess, heat this up. Let me get my little torch. Or I could just slam it on the ground.
that would be okay too, man.
I don't know if this gets hot enough or not. But it sure did heat it up, didn't it? Let's sit there and cool. I'll be right back. All right, here comes the fun part. This has got to go here, but it's got to be in there too. And well, I need to look down the tail shaft housing to do that. And I got to pick this gear up at the same time and try to hold the flashlight where I can see. And well, what if I just do that right there? All right, I got the fork in the right place, but the gear is off the splines now. So maybe if I turn this gear, I get that pull down on there. Oh, look at here. Oh, yeah. Look at here, look at here. By George, I think we've got it. I'm looking at my table, just making sure I ain't got no parts that left out. I don't see any, so I think we're good. Let me put these bolts in. Well, I guess we can put this bearing support on now before it falls out. So, again, I'm going to put just a little bit of RT and V on both sides of that gasket, because I don't like leaks. Where'd my RT and V go? Here it is. Very lightly run these in because these threads are, well, they're very iffy. All right, that's that. Only thing left is this side cover. So let me get it put on. Remember, we got to shift that one forwards. Now let's see if we can get her on. Where's my gasket? This done fell off. All right, here we go. Look at there. She just fell right into place. Oh, yeah. All right, let me get these bolts in. Let's check it and see if it'll go in gears. There's one there. There's one there. Oops. There's one there. There's one there. That don't look right to me. Let's try reverse. Yep. So they all work. Well, I pulled the side cover back off because, well, I forgot to squirt a little bit of grease down in here and work everything back and forth. I worked the shifters and got it down in the gears, you know, where they spin on the main shaft. Anyway, it's freed up quite a bit, so I'm glad I remembered to do that. Alrighty, it's the next day again, and about the only thing I got left to do is put this ring on here. This is what's going to take up the space between this and the bell housing hole. Well, I emailed the company that makes this because I don't know if you need to use retaining compound. If so, do you retain it on here? Do you retain it on the bell housing? Apparently they don't want me to know. So I probably will never buy another product from them. That's just a pet peeve of mine. A company that won't answer emails. That's, well, anyway, what I'm going to do is going to use this 609 retaining compound, put it on here because my luck, well, it's not that great. Just as soon as I put this on there without any retaining compound, it'll come loose. It'll get in there in the clutch and just, well, we ain't gonna have that happen is what I'm trying to tell you. So let me get this on with retaining compound and then we'll be ready to put this back in the truck. I'm gonna clean this up a little bit with some sanding paper just to get some of the dirt and grime off so that 609 Loctite can hold on to it. All right, I do believe we are ready to put this little feller on this transmission.
We'll put a little bit of this all around here. Just like it right there. And we're gonna put her on. Put her on, put her on. Where's my hummer? Where's my hummer? Let me have a little piece of wood. I do believe that is on. I'm gonna let this set up for a little bit, and then we're gonna go put it in the truck. I'm not gonna video that. Y'all done seen that movie. So next time you see this, it'll be in the truck, and hopefully we'll be ready to test it out. With our Tiz, we got it installed. The reverse linkage, that was a pain. It's hitting the transmission mount just a little bit. Anyway, nothing I can do about that. I got to go up top and put my little shifter arm. What did we decide that was called? Shifter arm? A lever? I don't know. I got to put it on. That's all I can tell you. Well, she's down on all fours and ready for a test drive. But I forgot to tell y'all this. Remember how the main shaft ain't what it seems to be, you know, with the synchronizer hubs and all that? Well, I was curious if the gear ratios and the gears were all still the same. I counted all the teeth on all the gears, and then went home last night, did some mathematicals, and then looked up all the gear ratios on all the Muncie transmissions, and it is in fact a 63 through 65 M20 wide ratio. So it is what it's supposed to be, with the exception of the synchronizer stuff. Anyway, ain't but one thing left to do. Let's take this thing down the road and see if we have fixed the problem. Well, the clutch pedal, it don't feel right. Let's give it a try anyway. It's a cold start. It ain't been started in about a week and a half. Let's see how it does. Look at that. Side door just flew open. That's good. Yes, sir. She's fixed.
Well, I'm very, very happy to have that done. Seems to drive and run pretty good. No unnecessary growling or grinding. Third gear does have a pretty good whine, but I ain't worried about that. We still got a lot left to do to this old truck. All you can do is one thing at a time. Anyway, appreciate y'all watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you don't mind, hit the like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends. Check out my merch, link down below. You want to send me junk? There's a P.O. box down below. And until next time, go do something. Blurb, blurb.